I'm 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 depressed, man. I mean, what what do you want me to say? This is I'm putting out a hit on Ilya Taporia. I have £4 right here for anyone who shoots him dead. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna go through the full card, and I guess we'll start with the main event. I I don't even. I mean, I kind of like the reason I picked Charles is because like I was hopeful. I wanted to emulate Ilya in a way. I was trying to be confident and be like, Charles is gonna win this. He's winning this, and then this happened, and yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Uh, Charles landed a couple shots, but he didn't follow. He didn't have a good game plan. He marched into the pocket, got cracked, and I've just spent like an hour sitting on my phone watching sad Charles Oliveira edits on TikTok, trying not to cry. Um, yeah, and that says a lot for me because I haven't cried in like years. I don't even remember when the last time I cried was actually, and I didn't cry over this, but I came very close. I could feel something. Um, moving on, so some happier times. This card overall was a pretty happy card. Pantoja, he did what I said he would. He outstruck Caligara France. Um, he won the first round and the second round. If he was from Dagestan, the first round would have been a 10-8. And in the third round, he just gets the sub. I'm so happy he dealt with this little gremlin. Obviously, I'm just not happy right now, but I'm happy at this fight. This fight makes me happy. I knew this was gonna happen, even though Pantoja's 35. I'm hyped for the Josh Van fight. I don't even know who wins that. I don't know why this is at the top. Maybe because it was the fight of the night. This shit was amazing, bro. Um, yeah, over 400 total strikes landed. Uh, it was insane, man. Joshua Van. I think Royval could have had the second round because he landed some good shots. Joshua Van definitely had the first. Third was very competitive, and then Joshua Van eventually did get the knockdown. Look, I'm a Brandon Moreno fan. That's my favourite flyweight, my second favourite fighter. Joshua Van might be the best striker ever at flyweight, and then Moreno, and then Royval, and then there's others you could talk about. You could talk about DJ, you could talk about even Kai Kara France. Pantoja's making a name for himself in the striking. Honestly, it's looked good, although there is a takedown for threat. Even Urseg's pretty underrated, Manel Cap. Joshua Van versus Pantoja is an amazing fight. I love Joshua Van, he's so entertaining. I know I picked Royval, but I'm happy with his outcome. I do feel bad for Royval, though. He's cool. He was on a good streak too, but yeah, man, Joshua Van, the career comeback after the Charles Johnson fight is crazy. I'm very happy for him. Moving on down the card, a pick I got right. I was very happy with this one. I was shitting myself after the first round when Renato Moicano had dropped Benil Dariush, but apart from the knockdown in the first round, Renato Moicano was getting outstruck by Benil Dariush. Benil Dariush just kept kicking him, leg, body, head. He was mixing up. He's very slow. I'm surprised Moicano didn't make many reads on him. In the second round, Dariush just out-grappled him. I felt going into this, I knew he's stronger. He's got more pop in his shots, and he's a better grappler. Obviously, I was worried because he is coming off 2 knockouts, but Benil Dariush got it done in the end. I was very happy. And you know what? Before I move on to the next fight, one thing, almost every fighter thanked Jesus Christ, from what I remember. I don't know about these two. I don't really remember the post-fight interviews, but Terence McKinney thanked Jesus Christ. Tracy Cortez might have. I know she's a Christian. Delgado might have. I don't know though. Gregory Rodriguez did, I'm pretty sure. Peyton Talbot didn't because he's a heathen. Dariush did. Pantoja maybe, but he is a Christian. I don't know if he said. Ilya said thank you to God. Joshua Van shouted out Jesus Christ. I was very happy with that on the card. But yeah, good performance from Peyton Talbot. He's no longer. I mean, he's maybe earned back his prospect status, or has he? I don't know. We don't really know how good Felipe Lima is, you know. But Peyton Talbot's wrestling defense has definitely improved. I was impressed by it in this fight. Honestly, Lima was trying to go for leg locks, and he was trying to do these like eccentric back takes and he threw a shit ton of spinning back fists. But the thing is with Lima, I thought he had the first round right. I feel like when he was doing less complicated stuff, he was winning. Like he was just going in there with his 1-2s or just a basic double leg and he'd get it. But then when he got the double leg, he'd try and go for a leg or something, or do like a really fast switch to the back. I felt like he could have won if he'd stuck to the basics, because that's what he was doing in the first round. But I'm still impressed by Talbot. As for who I think Peyton Talbot, I mean, I don't know who these two should fight next. Obviously, I would love to see Ilya versus Islam. I need to talk about this, but yeah, I think, obviously, I think they should do Arman versus either Gaethje or Pimblett for a number one contender fight. I don't think Pimblett deserves the shot right away. And Ilya tried to call out Arman, but they got Pimblett in the cage because Joe Rogan, I guess, is a casual. I think Pantoja obviously should fight Van. Kai Kara France, I have no clue, you know. You could maybe run the Royval rematch. I'm not sure. Or you could just do him versus Manel Cap, because that's a fight that like everyone wants. These two, I mean, I might not say who I think they should fight next, but yeah. I was pretty impressed by Peyton Talbot. Obviously, I was rooting for Lima because I don't like Talbot. But yeah, he called out Yanez. That's a good fight. I don't know, Yanez might win. He has very good boxing, and Peyton Talbot's head movement is trash. But you know, it's interesting. Moving on, Hermansson versus Gregory Rodriguez. I predicted Gregory Rodriguez to win this. He was losing, but I was still like, I never doubted him. Even though he was down in the fight, I was like, he's going to knock him out. There's just such a power difference there, and he did. I believe it was a left hand. It might have been a right. I don't know. I think he went, yeah. So he just put out, Jack Hermansson. Brutal. Jack Hermansson, I thought he was dead. He wasn't. He was okay, but in the end, but I thought he was literally dead. Great performance from Obama. Moving on, Jose Delgado. I picked this guy as an underdog, and I'm very glad I did. I like this guy. I've been obviously I haven't been hyping him up in videos because I know how to predict his fights, but I've been hyping him up to people I know, saying like, this guy's the real deal. He's such a clean striker. He's very sharp. And early on, so the fight was very quick, 26 seconds long, right? They had a little like kind of exchange in the grappling. I think Hyder landed once, and then he tried to throw Delgado, and Delgado kind of like went down, but then he got straight back up. He like reversed it, and then I think he went jab to the body, right hand to the head, and then knee straight in the middle, put out Hyder a meal. Nasty stuff. Love to see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who should fight next. Moving on, I did get this one wrong, but I'm glad Tracy Cortez won, because she's bad, you know. I mean, obviously, she did pretty well on the field. It was kind of competitive there, but I think what she did a good job of was like, she'd feint like she was gonna go for a takedown, and this was after she outgrappled Araujo in the first round. She'd feint like she'd go for a takedown, and then she'd come over the top with punches. And I was very impressed by Tracy Cortez here, 30-27. Good job. Moving on, Terence McKinney immediately submits Vyacheslav Borshev. Cut Borshev, he sucks. And this also makes me like, I'm probably going to pick Alexander Hernandez to beat Chase Hooper, because this fight has just made me like even more think Chase Hooper sucks. You know, he had a disappointing performance against Jim Miller, and yeah, okay, he beat Borshev, he dominated him, and that had everyone hyping him up. But now I'm like, well, Borshev's kind of bad, you know, because Hooper didn't immediately sub Vyacheslav Borshev, but Terence McKinney just immediately double-legged him and submitted him in 55 seconds, which was very impressive. The early prelims, I thought Jacob Smith was going to KO Nico Price easily, but he subbed him in the second with a rear naked choke, and I mean, he did dominate the fight, but it's like there were moments where I was like, you're not looking as good as you should be for as hyped up as you are, and this is Nico Price, you know. I still think he's a good prospect though, you know. Give Jacob Smith like a good unranked fighter next. Moving to the first fight of the card. So that fight that happened, that was meant to happen, where I didn't know who either of the fighters were. I guess that didn't happen, but a kind of disappointing performance here for Janata Denise. Just one, he outstruck Alvin Hines, which I guess is fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I expected him to KO him immediately, but he just kind of outstruck him basically. So I think they should sign Alvin Hines to the UFC because he did do okay for himself here. And it was short notice for him. He was filling in for one of the Taffa brothers. I honestly don't know. But yeah, overall, I mean, this was a good card, you know. If you look at the results, I was happy with this one. I was happy with this one. I was happy about this one. I was not happy about this one, but whatever. You know, I picked this guy to win. I was very happy about this. I'm glad Tracy Cortez. You know, I'm glad, like, all these wins, I'm kind of glad they won, except for this one, but I can get over it, you know. And oh no, I don't think I'll ever get over this, man. Like, nah, I don't think. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna beat Ilia Topuria ever. Like, he beats Makachev. I mean, what was impressive about this fight for Topuria was that Charles tried to like trip him, using the clinch against defense. He tried to get him down, and Ilia was able to reverse it and get on top himself. Past Charles's guard, Charles wasn't rocked, and Makachev could not do that. While Charles was not rocked, Makachev couldn't do it. Dariush couldn't do that. Ilia passed his guard, got to crucifix against Charles Oliveira, which is so impressive, and then escaped a leg lock and got to his feet. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, you know how I've got like my channel banner on my channel, right? And there are all these fighters I have who are my favourites, right? In every division. You think about it, I'm like, are any of them ever going to become champion again? Or like, just ever? Like, Moreno or Pantoja just looked amazing and dominated Kai Kara France. And Manel Cap just looked, no, not Manel Cap, fuck Manel Cap. Van just looked like incredible, and I think I might pick Van to beat Moreno, and it's like, so I don't know if Brandon would win a rematch against Pantoja. I don't think so. And you know, I don't know if he'd beat Van. And then at bantamweight, like Yan, I guess, but like Marab's champion, and Yan got dominated by Marab. And at featherweight, Nathaniel Wood is top 10 level, but I don't know if he's top 5 level or like you know, champion. I don't think really he's championship level. He gets dropped a lot and he fumbles finishes, you know. We just saw what happened with Charles. Leon's on the 2-fight losing streak. I don't know about Fluffy. I don't think Fluffy beats Drickus or and there are tricky matchups from up there. I don't think Min Yang is like championship level. Walter Walker, I just like him because he's like funny and he hooks people. Like, he probably won't get ranked, so he's gonna lose to Kennedy Nzechukwu when they fight. I'm pretty sure that fight's happening. So overall, I mean, this is just a sad reality, you know. I am a fan of Ilya, but it's still just depressing, you know. And yeah.